Hi, folks. I wanted to hopefully quite quickly share some current ruminations on the difference between sustaining and disruptive innovation, and thinking about the impact of AI, I guess, in the learning landscape, corporate learning landscape, which is my preoccupation at least. So this is stealing the ideas of Clayton Christensen, standing on his shoulders to try and understand this, at least in brief, and offer a couple of examples of where I think we might be seeing sustaining and disruptive innovation. So sustaining innovation, it really tends to focus on the improvement of existing products and services for existing customers. So there's less of that sense of disruption. It's about improvement, incremental change and development. So it tends to be maybe improvements in quality, maybe reliability, consistency, etc., of speed, additional features to existing solutions, and incremental improvement for those existing and often most profitable customers. So to make the most of your existing customer relationships. I think some interesting examples of that with corporate learning at the moment are content curation and content recommendation. AI is being used to automate and improve the accuracy, I guess, and the scale and efficiency of the ability to recommend and curate content for end users in platforms and in content services. Similarly, the creation of assessments, quizzes, a sticky and tricky piece of learning design that often takes a long time, needs a lot of thought. A lot of that can now be automated as well, not completely automated, but automated as well to improve and speed up the creation of those components of courses, particularly valuable in e-learning. And I guess just generally sustaining innovation is a more learning content more quickly seems to be the feature across the industry. I know that causes concern, but it's definitely happening. It's going to continue to happen, and it's a sort of sustaining innovation for many of those service providers, particularly in the digital learning and now increasingly in the learning systems segments of the market that we look at. Um, Perhaps more interestingly and sort of a more chewy is this idea of disruptive innovation. So this is really focusing on one area of the value chain rather than across the whole service. Tends to focus on lower end. I know it's a bit pejorative, or sort of customers that are more price sensitive, perhaps, or less loyal, or for new customers and non-users. So the idea is there's a particular innovation in one component of the value chain that makes this product attractive that they wouldn't normally buy. Often this focuses on something being good enough. So this isn't the best, not trying to create the best, the highest quality experience, but it's good enough. It works. It works well enough for these customers, and tend to that's against sort of traditional measures of what good enough is, and it might be, but then will excel at some. So often that might be price or speed or convenience. So it's good enough, but really attractive for certain of those features. Simplicity might be one of those, and these innovations tend to and be improved rapidly. So these are fast-moving technologies, often focus on startups. I guess for me here, there's a couple of examples in the corporate learning which I think are we're seeing some signs of disruptive innovation. One is synthetic media, so maybe sort of the video avatar. I know a lot of people are concerned about sort of the quality and the kind of poverty of user experience there, and I think this is one of the reasons why they might be disruptive for lots of customers. Actually, this means that they can now use video in content much more quickly, much more cheaply, which wouldn't have been available before. Not substituting the human video, but actually substituting kind of low end, low quality click next e-learning, so text, PDFs, PowerPoint, etc. So this is a way of enriching that experience and doing it, at a sort of price and at a sort of lower production, I guess, impact. So I think that's one candidate for disruptive innovation. We'll see whether attitudes to that change as the quality improves, and the quality is improving very, very quickly. So we might start to see that this becomes sort of the foot in the door to the value chain for synthetic video, as sort of to spread more widely across the industry as it improves. Another, I think, perhaps candidate is the use of LLM chat and AI conversations and feedback in skills rehearsal. So often, sort of, now I think interestingly for softer skills and one's human skills of communication, giving and receiving feedback, relationship development, etc., where the sort of coaching experience is added. to these solutions in the form of rehearsing and practicing your as you chat with an AI, either using audio or text or both, and getting some feedback in a safe environment, not as a substitute at all yet for human coaching, but it's bringing that kind of human coaching like intervention and value to solutions that would have been completely inaffordable and unable to scale before. Again, as these improve, we might start to see them becoming more close to that kind of human coach overall value and experience. I think those are my candidates for disruptive innovation. There are probably many others. This is a quick thought for you to review. These things don't have to be breakthrough technologies necessarily. They can feel and seem kind of sort of modest and minor, but then can develop across the industry. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on sustaining and disruptive innovation, and the state of AI and digital learning. I reserve the right to change my mind as we find out more in our studies at Fosway, but also as the industry develops. I'm interested to know what you think.